Good morning, YouTube. We are back with the Roland Cube Street, the original. And how many watts is this, you might ask? Well, some would say 50, some say 20, some say 30. Nobody really knows, except I'm going to go for the 5 watt people because the majority says it's only 5 watts. So I guess we'll go with that. It's a stereo amp, a couple 6.5-inch speakers, ported out the front. Runs on batteries, runs on a power supply. Right now it's on the power supply, but it does use 6 AA batteries, which gives you several hours of run time. Of course, that depends on how much you crank things up, how much power you use, so keep that in mind. And only use Duracell or Energizer. Do it the right way, okay? Anyways, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through the effects at different volume levels. Okay, now 5 watts doesn't sound much like you, but apparently this thing's great for doing rehearsals with, and it's plenty loud enough, apparently, to even compete with an acoustic drummer, which, well, you know, when I was in a band in high school, okay, me and the lead guitarist each had PV Edition 20s, and they're not 20 watts, they're more like about 7, okay, and cranked right to the dime, we kept up with our acoustic drummer that had a pretty big and pretty loud freaking kit. And we had no problem competing. So, yeah, it's all about the dB, not the wattage, kids. And what they do today to us to convince us we got high power is a pile of hokum, okay? Which we've also discovered on a few things we've talked about on this channel too. Anyway, so bass, mid, and treble are in the middle. I'm not using the vocal side of the amp, even though it does vocals. It also works with acoustic guitars, because there is a preamp for that, as well as keyboards, or probably, it could probably handle a bass guitar. That I can't verify or deny. Alright, it also has a secondary microphone preamp as well, so you could run 2 mics into this thing, and also there's an auxiliary input, so you can, you know, throw your iPod or whatever into there, old-fashioned CD Walkman, and, you know, sing along, do karaoke, whatever, okay? It's plenty loud. Alright, so we've got a bit of reverb on this thing right now, and we're going to start with the JC Clean, and we're going to have the volume at 9 o'clock and the gain at 12. And for this video, we're likely going to end up using everything at 12 o'clock for the gain. So, and humbuckers are always more volume than single coil, so keep that in mind as well. So we have a 2015, this is a Les Paul Standard Pro by Epiphone, and nice guitar, nice clean pickups. They're not muddy. I love them. Now that's the bridge, and we're going to go through bridge, both and the neck. We're not going to bother coil splitting here. So for our next test, we're just going to crank it up to 12 o'clock on the volume. Okay, so we're going to basically go 9, 12, 3, and the end of the chain. o'clock. Full blast. Brit combo. O'clock. O'clock. Full blast. Take it easy. I haven't been actually playing guitar in a long time now, other than just playing in church, and I just got an electric guitar again, so I need to spend more time. I get it, I'm making some mistakes, but some of them I'm trying to think ahead of myself, I guess. So anyways, this is this classic stack, 9 o'clock. also mixing some stuff in differently, mainly because of the sound of the amp. Some things just don't quite sound right with regular chords. Okay, so halfway, 12 o'clock. Three-quarters away, 3 o'clock. Full blast. Probably one you've all been waiting for, the R fire, or rectifier. O'clock. blast. Finish off with is full gain on that too. Is dimed. Now let's go full blast and pull the gain back to 9 o'clock. Classic, same gain, full blast. Brit. Black panel. Wussied. JC Clean. There's also an acoustic channel on this as well. So if we go middle gain, full blast. Half blast. Okay, so what we've gathered from this and completely learned all together is that the effects, although pretty good, I mean, I really like the acoustic channel. I definitely love that rectifier amp. I'm okay with some of the others too, as far as, you know, bluesy kind of tones, or, you know, a little bit of that brick grind in there. Kind of depends what you're playing, right? But it is a decent sounding amp, but it definitely does sound way better once you start getting around that, you know, towards that 12 o'clock position on the volume control, and leaving the gain at halfway is kind of like a really good idea, because after half, the gain really doesn't do a whole lot for any of the preamps. Okay, so it does a little bit, but not a whole lot. All right. But if you're looking for something for a bedroom practice amp, or yeah, rehearsals, I can see definitely with the rectifier for sure it can keep up there, because it's the loudest preamp they've got in the thing, and it does have some nice grind to it. You know, like you start getting up here. Let's go to the AR fire for a second here. Now, the volume at 3/4. I mean, that's pretty nasty. You know, halfway. Still sounds great. When we get that volume around 9, it kind of fuzzes down and muffles a bit, right? Now, if you want this amp to, say, compete on stage, I would mic it up, you know, because then if that's the sound, exactly the sound you're after, you can achieve that by miking up the amp. But once you start turning the volume up more, like let's go to 10 o'clock, it's gone, right? it's lost it. So, you know, there's half. And some of these you're going to want to mic it up and crank things up too to really punch it out there kind of thing, right? So it's kind of your thing. But I mean, I paid $179 Canadian for the amp, which is a pretty good deal. You know, and yeah, it's an older amp for sure. It's at least 10 years old. Roland doesn't have any, or Boss even, doesn't have any real info on it anymore, other than you can download a manual. But as far as spec sheets go, it's kind of a guessing game as far as what it's really putting out. Now, in reality, that's a 5-watt amp. I'm going to tell you right now, it is a 5-watt amp. And even from other information I've dug up, it's a 5-watt amp. It's a 5-watt amp. The majority out there say it's a 5-watt amp. Some people think it's louder, but it really isn't. Decibels and wattage, really, they're not that, what do you call it, combined well enough together if you get the drift. Like, I had a 2,000 watt amp on a drum kit. Okay, now, that should have literally popped some glass easily, right? Nope, can't do it. Yet, it could only achieve 119 or 120 some dB. It's on my channel. We took it into the church and cranked everything full blast. That is not no 2,000 watts, and even though the dB meter said that it was, you know, good enough there for high dBs, yeah, it'd be great for, you know, in a church if you need the loudness. It'd be definitely great in coffee shops. Stage performance in like an auditorium or something, no, don't even think about it. Just mic your drum kit up, or if it's electronic drums, plug it into your, you know, 20, 30,000 watt PA system, because you're going to get better performance. Because in reality, that is no 2,000 watts of horsepower. I know what 2,000 watts should sound like, and the decibel level coming out of 2,000 watts is excruciating to the ears, and that was not. So, regardless, that's modern day technology for you. Things have kind of reversed their roles a little bit. But in this case, yeah, this is a 5-watt amplifier. Power consumption that's written on the back of the amplifier is not the wattage of the amplifier. It is the amount of wattage which gets converted into amperage that it pulls out of your wall socket. Okay, that's what that wattage indicator is. Okay, now if it does specify output watts, that's different. But it's always input watts unless otherwise specified. Kind of like my Edition 20, it showed the voltage requirement that it's pulling at a voltage. It showed the wattage draw from the wall socket, and it showed the wattage output, okay, on the back of the amp. So you're not going to get confused. But with a lot of these more modern devices, they just say it's 70 watts. No, it's not 70 watts. That's a 20-watt amplifier, duh. Okay, or if it's 50-watt draw, or whatever it is. But the thing is Fender Mustang 1, for example, I've had a number of them. Those are all 20-watt max amps, okay? Yet they draw 70 watts of power, and people think they're 70-watt amps. They're not, so that should give you some understanding there. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. This was recorded directly to my iPad. No miking up, no extra mics, none of that. Just what's built into my iPad 10th generation that I record a number of my videos with. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and would this be something that you'd be looking for? Well, here's one problem. You're going to have to buy it from a music store that is selling it used, like Lauren McQuaid in Canada. You're going to get it cheap, okay, under $200, and it's worth it. But online on Reverb, I saw these things for sale on Reverb. First and second gen. First gen I seen as high as $600 and almost $900 for the second gen. And it's like, are you kidding me? It is not worth that kind of money. I mean, 180 is really pushing the envelope as it is, but when you think about what's out there brand new for 180 bucks, you're not going to get that sort of thing in this capability and with the vocal side for the vocal preamp either. So you got to consider those options. So for me, 179 bucks, worth every penny all day long in cherry condition. And this thing is in impeccable cherry condition. So that's another thing. Condition is everything. Anyhow, besides that, check out my other videos on my channel on the Cube Street. I have 2 others. We did the electric guitar review, and then we did an acoustic guitar video as well, because this will handle acoustic instruments, as well as, like I said, piano was on the list as well, secondary mic, whatever kind of thing. But you do only have 2 main inputs One is for obviously your mic channel. The other one is going to be for your other instrument. The only other input you have is the auxiliary stereo in, and it is a stereo output amplifier, so your sound is in stereo out, which is kind of a nice bonus too. So you get what you pay for, right? So anyway, there you go. That's all I got. Thanks so much for watching, hanging out, and see ya!